All right. How y'all doing? This is Elder Patillo, the Truth in Love Ministry. Listen, have another message. Well, not a message, but just to finish up on our 4V series. We've already covered vision, we've already covered value. Now we're going to cover validation. All right? Please look at the other videos, the 4Vs, to understand what we're talking about when we're talking about vision, when we're talking about value, and when we are talking about what we're talking about today, validation. Look at those two videos and then make sure that you see this. Hit the like button, share it, make comments, be proactive, get the word out if it's good stuff. If it's not good stuff, then I would understand you not even commenting or saying anything. But if it's good stuff, I think you should share it. Um, if you have not subscribed, I think you should subscribe. But we're talking about validation. Now, when you validate, that means you give things credit. You give things the whatever it is it's supposed to be. You validate or confirm that it is what it is. Sometimes when you go to the grocery store, if you or any other store for that matter these days, if you hand a person a $100 bill, they're gonna check it out to confirm that it's real. They're gonna check it out that it's the value that you say it is by being authentic. Okay, so when you validate something, you confirm that it's real. It is what it says it is, and whatever that thing is, that thing don't apologize for being that. That's what it is. That thing does not become less value just because it may have a tear in it. It does not become less value even if it has even if it's crinkled up or balled up. If you unfold it, if you take it and spread it out, that's still $100 bill. And so validation is the confirmation that something is real, that it's authentic, that something is worth what it says it's worth. It's something that is what it is. And so we're talking about validation in a sense today that we need to self-validate. We as human beings, we need to self-validate as we are going to succeed. All right. Remember, the 4 V's are some of the things that you need to succeed. That's the whole thing. Succeed in life, succeed in ministry, succeed in business, succeed in a marriage, in relationships, what have you. You got to have a vision for what you're involved in. You got to bring value to the table to help it be what you are striving for it to be. And you have to have validation, self-validation. It's good to have validation of people. When people validate you, they say, hey, what you said, that's important. What you said makes sense. Even if I don't agree with it, I respect it. Why? Because you are valid. You are valid. Your thoughts may not be the same thoughts, but you have a responsibility and you have the ability to speak and be respected just because you are a valid human being. You're not subservient. You're not second class citizen. You're not somebody that another person is supposed to have their foot on your neck, not wanting you to thrive and survive. You are a valid human being. And if people will not validate you, you must validate yourself. If people will not take you as serious, you must take yourself as serious. If people won't honor you and respect you, like a songwriter said many years ago, respect yourself. You have to do these things because some people are so busy being negative. They are so busy trying to down everybody. They're so busy having their chest stuck out and they're not validating themselves, but they are overcompensating for something that they don't have. And so they will stick their chest out and make it seem as though they are validated, but they're trying to be somebody else or they're trying to be something that they're not. But what we're talking about today is being what you are and understanding that what you are is valid. What you are is valid. Yeah, do we need to improve? Yes, we need to improve. But do I need to tell you how to improve or what you need to improve on? Not necessarily if you know what it is. But even if you don't, and even if I don't tell you, you should know, or you should understand that even though you don't have all of that in line and everything, knowledge, you're not knowledgeable about these things as you should be, you still are valid. You still belong here. You still are a person that has a reason for living. You still got talent, skills, abilities to do certain things. You are valid. So you must remember to validate yourself when other people will not validate you. And what did that mean? You have to not walk in low self-esteem, like you don't count. I know certain people, I know a certain person right now, if a lot of people come around and there begins to be a conversation, and it could be about anything. It could be about a movie. It can be about the scriptures. It can be about anything. When more than 3 or 4 people start talking, this one person, they are going to check out. They will not be in the conversation. They will not participate. Why? Because they think their thoughts are not valid. They think that anything they say may not be valid, or anything they say, the people may look at it as nothing. They might feel like they're not knowledgeable enough to be in the conversation, not knowing that you don't have to be an authority to be in the conversation. You can ask a question about something that was said that you don't understand. But they will check all the way out because they feel minimum. They feel like they don't count. They feel like their feelings and their thoughts and their words are not valid. But listen, your feeling, your thoughts, and your words are valid because they're yours. And some of the thoughts you have could be wrong, but they're yours. Everybody have wrong thoughts. So that doesn't invalidate you because you had a wrong thought. And what would be really nice is that if you recognize or someone is saying that you have a wrong thought, you can ask the question, why is that thought wrong? Instead of saying, well, if they said I'm wrong, then I might as well just shut up. No, you're not validating yourself when you just shut up. Ask the question. You have a right to know. You have a right to know. I remember when I was in school as a young man, and even when I went off to college in the same state. That's the term they use. I ain't went off to college nowhere, but anyway, when I was in college, there was the teacher would go on and he would go forth and people would be saying things and asking questions and everything. And I would be quiet because I'm like, I'm not as smart as these people. I don't want to ask a question and sound stupid. I don't want to ask a question and sound like I've been in this class for however long I've been in it, but I don't know anything. I don't want to sound like an idiot. So I would be quiet. But a person that has been validated or who has validated themselves, they understand that they have a right to ask a question just like anybody else. They have a right to learn. They paid their money to go to school. They got this student debt if they had to get student debt. They just like anybody else in the class. How come they can't ask a question to get clarity? So when you invalidate yourself, you won't say anything. Low self-esteem will make you feel like you a fool. Low self-esteem will make you feel like you should not even be in the class. Low self-esteem will make you quit. Low self-esteem and not feeling validated will make you leave. Not just school, but the marriage, the ministry, and everything else. What you say matters, right or wrong. What you say counts. What you say is real. Listen, a person that has been validated, they validated themselves or someone has validated them, but let's say validation of self, because as I said, you're not going to get validated by people all the time. But when you hear people, I don't know if it's all women or I don't know who all says it, but I know I hear it, that term when somebody says, I said what I said? Mostly hear from women. I said what I said. But when a person says, I said what I said, they're saying I'm valid as far as I'm concerned. I said it, and it's important, and you should listen to it, and you should take a look at it. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But I said what I said. Why? Because my thoughts and my voice and the things I say has meaning. It has importance. It has a place in this world just like anybody else. So with that being said, listen, if no one will validate you, validate yourself. All right? If you dress nice and no one will give you a compliment, compliment yourself. If you think you're looking good and you are looking good and you know you're looking good, if people won't validate that, you validate it. Now, I'm not saying walk around in pride and arrogance and all of that, but just say to yourself, I look good. Just say to yourself, I'm a great ambassador for Christ because I dress the part and I endeavor to live the part and be validated because I'm his. Now that's just a little spiritual part to put in there. Because he called me and sent me, I'm validated. He validated me. God validated me. So the words that I speak, I pray to God that they are spirit and they are life. He validated me and told me to speak. So here I am. So whatever you're doing, if people won't validate you, validate yourself. You are important. You have a reason. You were born with a purpose. And the things you know and the things that you have experienced and the things that you have, there's somebody that needs to know about it. They need to hear about it and they need to see you perform it. So you are valid. And if someone has not validated you or you don't feel validated by others, validate yourself. All right? God made you. God put you here. God gave you your gift, talent, skills, and abilities. God gave you these things. And they may not have been developed properly or all the way as of yet. But what you are now is valid because you can grow. The buck doesn't stop right here. Everything does not stop right here. We can develop ourselves and be more valid, or we can validate ourselves even more by developing who we are. But until then, who we are now counts for something. All right? You just got to believe it. You just got to understand it. Whoever you are right now, it counts for something. It's important. You are important. You matter. You are valid. And so that is what we're talking about when we're talking about validation. More so self-validation. You are what you are by the grace of God. Walk in it, run with it, fly with it, whatever you need to do, but own it. In Jesus' name, I'm out.